good, everybody, and welcome to this holiday edition of Weekday Wagers on a wonderful, well, it's a little rainy and dreary here in upstate New York, but you know what? Still a great Monday. We got a ton of things to be discussing. Look, coming up here in about the next 5 minutes, we're going to start breaking down. We've got 2 Monday Night Football games. Plus, we also have a little day hockey that's taking place right now. We can check in on some of those games, and we have Robbie Hockey, who is absolutely killer when it comes to hockey props, to get his insights. Also, speaking of Robbie Hockey, you know what? Why are we waiting? Let's just bring him in now. Robbie, long time no see. I mean, we did the show last night, but how is this Monday going for you?
Man, it's going great. Took the day off, spent time with my boys. They're heading to my mom's for the week since it's fall break, but unfortunately, I have to work. So took the day off, spending some time with them, enjoying some day hockey. The Preds are playing, so I've got that game on. But yeah, man, got a big night ahead of us.
Excellent, excellent. And speaking of a big night ahead of us, we had a lot of fun last night. And for all of you who tuned in, we came up with this, five or the live five, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we called it? The live five?
I've slept since then. It's something 5 live.
5 live five, something like that.
Yeah.
I think we hit 3 of the 5, didn't we?
I know David Montgomery went over. Did Goff go over his completions? I know he started slinging it.
Yep. So Montgomery went over his yards. Goff went over receptions. Travis Kelce went over his receiving yards. We had the over, but the under hit on that. And I think Xavier Worthy was the other one that we missed on his receptions. He finished at 2, so we lost by the hook. But all in all, 3 out of 5. That's not a bad way to finish out a little Sunday night football.
No, especially since I was heavy on Tyquan Thornton. I thought he had one more week in him before Rashee Rice came back, and then he completely fell off. But never mind. He completely fell off last night. So it was a good run while we had it. But thank God for David Montgomery and those others to get me in the green a little bit.
Perfect. We got 2 games today. Later on this evening, we got the Bills who are traveling to Atlanta. You and I know we both have picks on that game for today's show. So let's focus, before we start getting into that game, let's focus on the second game, which is the Commanders and the Bears. Any thoughts on this game, something that you're looking at from this matchup?
Yeah, it really feels like Washington should be the favorite. I feel like they're the better overall team, but they do have their flaws, especially in the secondary. If Caleb Williams can get it going and start finding his guys, I think it could be a big night for him through the air. Washington's still dealing with some injuries. I'm not sure on Terry McLaurin yet, if he's been ruled out or if he's still questionable. I know he got some practice time in, I think, this weekend, so he may be back. But yeah, that's the biggest thing I'm looking at. The defensive line of Washington is stout, but those DBs seem to be giving up big plays like crazy. I may have a play on somebody on Chicago at justthestatsports.com that I really like in this one.
Look at that tease. I love the tease. There we go. And for me, it's really looking to see what Washington can do against the Bears offense, which has not been overly productive this season. Washington's defense really has a chance to stand out tonight, and I think that I'm looking in particular to that matchup there. I don't see Caleb Williams having a big night. I lean more on Jaden Daniels to have the bigger night of the two. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for that one. Who do you think wins, Commanders or Bears?
I think Commanders. I think they take it. But I don't think it's going to be a big blowout. I think it'd be a pretty even keel match. Just depends on the DBs. Like I said, I think there's some ways you can attack them and really cause some havoc on them.
Yeah, I was trying to look to see what we had for the spread on that game. So it's Commanders minus 5.5. What do you think?
I think I would go. I feel like Chicago plus 5.5 is the play there. Okay. I feel like they can do enough to stick in it. Washington's good, but they're just not that good. And hell, after this weekend, some of the games we've seen,
right?
5.5 is a big number after this weekend.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get to the early game for tonight. So the one that you and I both have plays on. Without giving away the plays, this matchup, I know for me, I find very interesting because I think that we're getting a Bills team who's traveling finally out of the Northeast. Right, they're going down to Atlanta to play. This is a Bills team that has been seemingly like a cat playing with its food, has approached every game or has played each game this season so far akin to that. It's a tricky spot against a Falcons team, a Falcons offense that can light it up. And so I'm really interested in how well the Bills defense can respond and stand up to that test of Atlanta. And more importantly, can Atlanta's offense keep Josh Allen and company off the field long enough for them to sneak a win here, possibly? You've got the Bills, who are favored by 3.5, with the over-under at 49.5. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's the Bills coming off a loss to New England as well, so that's right in the thick of things. And then Atlanta's coming off a bye week, so they've had an extra week to prepare for Buffalo this week. I'm really interested to see what Buffalo does. Do they finally figure out, hey, we have the team that we should be able to not blow them out, but they should be able to handle the Falcons, right? They have enough weapons, especially on defense, that they should be able to control this game. But like you said, they kind of just play with their food. The Saints, they let them hang around, and then they let New England beat them last week, and they were clearly a better team, I think, than New England. But it didn't really matter. They didn't do enough to win.
I was just going to say, you said on paper, this looks like a fairly easy Bills win. But then last week, nobody gave New England a shot. I mean, they didn't have a snowball's chance in hell to win that game. And what do? They end up pulling out the actual upset. So do you think that that's a spot where it's kind of like, okay, that's a gut check time. It's now time we kick it into gear and we get hyper-focused?
I think for a team like Buffalo, yes. There's some teams I would say, no, I don't think it really matters. But I think Buffalo has enough pride in themselves, and the fans, especially of that team, have enough pride in themselves. I think they're going to want to come back out tonight and show, hey, we still have the talent. We still have one goal, and that's to get to the Super Bowl and hopefully win one. I think tonight they come out foot on the gas and they take control.
Yeah, and I know that Milano is out for Buffalo, the linebacker. So I know he's out for the game, which is why I'm kind of looking at – it's a defense. Buffalo's defense already was very running back friendly, opposing running back friendly, in the sense of giving up a ton of yards to the opposing RB1s and 2s. With Milano out, who's going to step up, and can they step up enough to hold? Look, I don't think you're going to stop Bijan, right? I think it's all you can do to contain him, but can they do enough to force other people to beat them? And if so, who are those other people for you for Atlanta?
It feels like maybe Kyle Pitts really should be able to step up, especially with the linebacker out. Get some of those underneath routes, really help out Michael Penix a lot if he can get those underneath routes. And like you said, Bijan Robinson on the ground through the air, he's a guy I love. I think his line was at 110.5 for rushing and receiving, which is just absurd. So not touching his props, but I do think it could be a big Bijan game. And like I said, Drake London, the other guy, he's going to see if he can create some space and get open because they're still down Darnell Mooney. Other than Drake London and Kyle Pitts, it's pretty bare bones there in Atlanta if starts throwing the ball to somebody.
Gotcha. And Joe brings up a good point. He says this Bills Commanders moneyline parlay feels a little too easy.
It does.
Of the two games, here's a great question. Of the two games, which one do you think has a bigger chance to see an upset in?
Commanders. I think that one has the bigger chance to see an upset. Just because of the DBs. I think there's a way I think the Bills can win. I think they could win that game. I don't think Atlanta can win against Buffalo after Buffalo coming off not only a loss, but a division loss. And if Buffalo loses tonight, New England's first in that division now because they have the head-to-head win. So I don't think Buffalo's losing tonight.
That is crazy to say. Yeah. That is insane. Listen, before we get into our wagers, we do have a little word from our Holiday Monday wager sponsor, Seabass himself. Seabass, what do you got?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's going to turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't-miss cover every night. With Bassett's blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Listen, I absolutely swear by Bassett's blends. The first time I ever ordered them, I'm like, you know what? It's sea bass. Let me do them a solid. Let me get I got both the original and the hot. I can tolerate some heat, jalapeno, habanero. This is perfect. It is right in that wheelhouse. It's not overly spicy. Rob, you stick with the original. Don't get the hot. I know you don't do spicy. But yeah, make sure you pick up one or two of those. I throw it on everything. I'm telling you, from eggs in the morning. The only thing I haven't tried it on yet is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, if I'm being completely honest. But now that I think about it, I just might. Let's get into our wagers. Rob, what do you want and why?
Yeah, man, I really like Josh Allen tonight. I'm taking his longest rush at over 14.5 at -108. He's gone over this in 4 straight games. His average longest rush is 22.8 yards right now this season. Falcons have allowed this in 3 of their last 4 games, and their longest rush sits at 15.5. So quarterbacks are getting open. Sorry, my son's walking in. Quarterbacks are scrambling a lot against this Falcons defense, and I really like this spot for Josh Allen. Surprisingly, Bryce Young is the only one who hasn't gone over this against the Falcons, which he is a running quarterback. But a lot of this has to do with Josh Allen has been leaning more on James Cook. But I think tonight the Falcons do enough to get in his grill, make him go out of pocket, and create some space and get going.
I like that. And you know what? I'm hoping that Josh Allen gets going because I am taking the Bills and the Falcons total to go over 49.5 at -110. For all the reasons that Robbie just said, plus the fact that the Bills need to get the taste of New England out of their mouth. They offensively are going to keep that foot on the accelerator all game long. This is a get-right spot from kickoff to the final second ticking off the clock in the fourth quarter, where the Bills can get everything right, especially on the road, turn around and face the rest of the season, with that confidence again. They need to do that. This is an Atlanta team that can give up some points, right? They gave up 27 to Washington. They gave up 30 to Carolina. They held Minnesota in check to 6, which I think that's an outlier. That's not the norm for a Minnesota team. On the other side, you got the Bills, who can show that they can put up 30 points without blinking an eye. It's just if Atlanta is going to stay competitive enough in this game. And by competitive enough, I mean, are they going to put up enough points to make sure that the Bills don't lose their focus and keep that hammer going? I love this to sail. I think this line is way too low. I think it should probably have been about 52.5. Where'd you go, Robbie? There you are. I don't know what happened.
I'm trying to hijack the show again, so I was like, get out of here. Not today.
And I do see that let's see, we had somebody, Trev. That's right. Mr. Nonsense. He is back from Niagara Falls. What's up, all? Hey, Nonsense. Again, it was so nice to meet you. What a great time with him.
That's a great picture you guys took. That was really good. I like a good time.
Funny story with that. There was a couple sitting next to us. I asked them to take a picture with my phone. It's an iPhone. Nonsense had the Android. This lady, for whatever reason, would mess my phone up every time she tried to click the picture. And then the pictures that came out. And I'm blaming the phone, my phone, not her, simply because they were all out of focus. It was fuzzy. It was horrible. She takes them with an Android, and boom, they came out beautiful. And so, yeah, that was a great spot, a great picture of both Nonsense and I together. Had a ton of fun. And for those who had a question on social media, yes, I did buy him a couple of rounds. So it wasn't me mooching off Nonsense because his wife is in the saloon and I'm not. That's anyway, we'll go there later. We don't have a pay dirt graphic today, and that is entirely on me. In my race to get back here, with all the construction happening, I ran into a glitch trying to reproduce that. Let's look at both of these games, though, Rob. Starting with the Bills in Atlanta. I am looking at the touchdown scores here. For an anytime touchdown, is there somebody that just jumps off the page? I mean, yes, Bijan Robinson at -175, James Cook at -175. Those are let me ask you, are those unplayable to you at -175?
For solo plays, yes. Maybe if you're trying to build a fun parlay, be a good leg or a good piece to put in there. But yeah, I think the highest I ever went was -125, and it was Jalen Hurts during the Super Bowl. And it's just because Super Bowl, all the lines are already so tight. That was, I think, the only time I ever bet a touchdown prop. I think it was -125.
Okay. I'll just read off a couple here. We got, well, with Bijan and James being priced where they are, is there anybody in this game that you're like, hey, I love this spot for this person?
Yeah, I actually went Josh Allen. His line was +100. You know, he only has 3 touchdowns this season, and a lot of that's due to just James Cook and his production at the goal line. But I envision Josh Allen getting it around the 15, 18-yard line, play breaking down, and him taking it on his own. I took that at +100 on FanDuel.
Yeah, and look, I think in this game, obviously I'm playing the over. I hope that there is a ton of points. I think that we have a great shot to see a lot of these guys get in. I love Tyler Algier at +210. He's hit this 50% of the rate, or 50% of the game so far this season. He scored a touchdown in. I think this is a great spot for him against a Bills defense that is susceptible to the running back position to begin with. I love this spot for him there. Let's get to the Commanders and Bears. Who do you like in that?
I went with Rome Odunze. He has a touchdown in every game this season. I think he has 5 total touchdowns. But like I think the game script goes the way I'm thinking, I could see him getting loose, getting behind that defense and going for a long one. If you remember, it was 2 weeks ago, Trey Tucker went off for 3 touchdowns and 100+ receiving yards. Him and Rome are pretty similar wide receivers, and Rome is Caleb's #1 guy right now. I don't care what they say about DJ Moore. So give me Rome Odunze +145 in that one.
This is really chalky. This is probably about as chalky as I would ever go on this, but I love Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Good old deal.
JCM, which is fun because if they ever played Seattle, we'd have JCM and JS. Anyway, I love for Ja'Cory to get in the end zone tonight simply because he's a dual threat. I love his rushing and receiving yards for the same reason. I think he can run it. I think that they will look to pass to him on a lot. If he breaks outside and gets outside the tackles, it's a wide open sprint. He's more like a wide receiver at that point. I think this is a great spot with everybody focused on stopping Jaden Daniels and his running. Look for JCM to have a huge night tonight. That would be my play.
I like that. Chicago's also not great against running backs either. So I like that play. What'd you say the number was at for him?
-145.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I could already tell.
Maybe a parlay. Maybe in a parlay I could do that.
So if we did, I was just going to say, so if we parlayed that with JCM anytime touchdown, and who would you take? Cook or Robinson?
JCM and JC. Do JC and JCM. James Cook and JCM. See what that's got to be plus money.
+165.
I could roll with that. I like that.
All right. Should we make that a little bonus? A holiday weekday wager bonus play?
Let's call it a Columbus Day cash at the end of the night.
Indigenous people's cash.
Whatever.
IPC.
I normally have to work today anyway, so it's not a holiday for me.
Right. That's what we were all saying. It's like a holiday. Wait a minute. What? No, we're still working.
Thank God for Boom Boom. He texted early this morning. He's like, "Why is there hockey on at 11 today?" Thinking about it, I said, oh, it's a holiday, Columbus Day. That's why they're doing day hockey. So
That's
thank
right.
God for him.
Listen, we do have a little controversy going on in the chat. Joe
Oh.
says that I told him it was his second favorite meeting with one of the show fans. Nonsense. Which, Joe,
You're on mute. Can't hear you.
did that help?
There you go. Now I
Oh.
can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Joe's definitely in the top two. I've had two opportunities to meet with people, so Joe's definitely in the top two. Nonsense, and then I think Kim dropped the mic when she said, "Joe, that's because I'd be the first." So, yes, listen. First of all, we're just grateful for all of you. Okay, I mean
There
the
you go,
fact
Switzerland.
that the fact that listen, the fact that I get to meet any of you, or have had the opportunity to meet any of you, is more special for me than I think it is the other way around. You don't understand how grateful I am for you guys to be here. I know Robbie feels the same way. We talk about this all the time. We have the best damn chat in the business. You guys are amazing. Makes what we do so much fun. And quite frankly, yeah, I am lucky to have had the chance to sit down and have a beverage with Joe, have a beverage with Nonsense, and kind of talk shop a little bit. It's interesting to get their insights, Rob.
Yeah.
I think you may not be shocked to find this interesting, but both Joe and Nonsense said that I'm the favorite handicapper on Weekday Wagers. And I'm like, really? I mean, it's really tough company because you are excellent at what you do with the props. DG is, he's DG. He's DG. So yeah, I get me over DG. But I'm like, really? It was humbling for me. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Hey, that's drinking will do that to you, make you say some crazy things.
Some crazy things. Yeah. Well, we weren't too crazy. I will say that we were not too crazy. We got day hockey. Anything going on right now in the games? I'm trying to pull up the list of games right there. We got the Avalanche, who just are going into the third with Buffalo. They're up 3-1 in Buffalo, handling business there. That was a site play that I gave out earlier this morning. You got Winnipeg up 3-1 with just under 10 minutes left in the second period there. Ottawa is down, Ottawa is up 1-0 over your Preds in the second.
They're challenging it right now. So it's a coach's challenge. I think it may be goalie interference. I've got it on mute, so I can't tell.
Gotcha.
But it looks like there may be some goalie interference. Yeah, that might come back. But yeah, this has been a scrappy game. The first period, there was like 6 penalties. And Preds killed off a 5-on-3. And yeah, it's been a lot of ugly hockey.
Well, look, in Tampa Bay and Boston, if you wanted goals, that's the game to be watching right now. That's over on the NHL Network. Tampa Bay's up 4-2 with just under 10 minutes left in the second period there. Anything with those games? Or I know we have one. Oh, that just kicked off. The Detroit-Toronto just kicked off while we were on the air.
Okay. There's one tonight, and I do have a play on the site, the St. Louis game. They're playing Vancouver. I think that could be a really good game for some player props. There's one guy that I really liked last season, and I think he's going to have a good night tonight there as well. That's the game I have my eyes on. These day games, especially on a Monday, is tricky. Like, I'm kicking myself for not taking Nate McKinnon for a goal. I think he has like 3+ points already in that one. But it kind of worries me when you go on a Monday and it's a day game. It seems like the sneaky guys you never think about are the ones that score the goals. But that's not been the case so far. Nate's gone off. Saw Tage Thompson got a goal for your Sabres on my fantasy team. So that was nice.
Well, listen, if there's anything to know about this hockey season so far, any chance you get to fade the Sabres, do it, right? And and if the opposing team has a guy like McKinnon or, the All-Stars, hammer their props because they will go off against the Sabres. The Sabres are horrible right now.
Yeah, and I want to mention too, because the name says Robbie Hockey, but there hasn't been a ton. I know last Wednesday, I think I had a really good night. It was a game that I really, really liked for a couple of guys. But you got to understand, hockey is a long season. It's really long, kind of like MLB. I like to just kind of dip my toes in the water first few weeks, see how people are, see what lines they're using, because they're trying to figure that out as well. They don't have set lines yet. The guys like McKinnon, and you know they're going to be a top line guy, but they're still trying to figure things out as well. So it has to be a matchup I really like before I make a play on it. So bear with me. We still got plenty of time for NHL props, but I'm just kind of doing a little bit of both right now with NFL going on.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, even from a model standpoint, the modeling standpoint, we're still collecting the data, and with the line shifting and rearranging, trying to find that right combination of players in that rotation, there is a lot of the dust still to be settled on the start of the season as things start to ramp up. I would say probably in the next week and a half to 2 weeks, we will have everything dialed in, and that's when betting hockey gets really, really fun. And I do have to say to Mr. Chino, I don't know if it's a Mr. or Mrs., to Chino Knit, who just subbed. Good content, gentlemen. Well, thank you, Chino, for finding us, and welcome. The chat here will introduce themselves. They are fantastic. So welcome. And he's also booking that touchdown combo, which is, I kind of like it too. So I will be doing that as well. Anything else? Well, as we go into tomorrow, we haven't even talked postseason baseball yet.
No.
Right? I mean, there's football, hockey. There, believe it or not, there's 2 baseball games taking place today. I was a little surprised by the Blue Jays letting one slip in Toronto yesterday to Seattle. Game 2's tonight. Brewers, Dodgers. Who do you like in game 1?
Gosh, that's a tricky one, because you know the Dodgers can go off at any time, right? So I'm thinking, but the Brew Crew, man, they're stout. Give me the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are going to try to set the pace in that one. Give me the Dodgers in that one. And then tonight, I would say Toronto. I think they even things back up.
Yeah, I like Toronto tonight too. I think this is a, hey, woohoo, that was our bad. Let's get back right. Type of game for them last night. I'm just taking a look real quick to see something, because if all holds true, you know what? It's not a bad number. For those of you who like first inning, no run, yes run, first inning plays, the NRFI for the Dodgers and Brewers is at -135. I love that spot because the Dodgers have been horrible, especially on the road in their first inning. It takes them forever to get warmed up. There is not a team worse in the first inning than the Milwaukee Brewers are when they play at home. They led the league, the regular season, in no runs first innings when they were the home team. At -135, absolutely. That's a great another little bonus place. See, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And Taj just gave out a live play. Maple Leafs over 1.5 goals in the first period.
Playing Detroit, is that right? Correct. I think they're playing.
Yeah, Detroit. They're playing Detroit. There's 7.5 minutes left in that first period.
Gotcha. I will say this, talking about the Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner looks very much at home in Vegas right now.
Doesn't he?
That top line with him and Jack Eichel are going to put up a lot of points this season.
He just looked like he's been there for 3 years already. It's just it's almost scary the way he kind of meshed into that.
I can't wait for him to play Toronto, because I know he was upset. I know he wanted, because I know he was a Maple Leaf fan as a kid. So I know he wanted to be a Maple Leaf forever and not to get re-signed. I know I cannot wait for that game. Let's just say that. I've got that one. Whenever it is, I'm going to be
laddering goals, points, shots on goal.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Well, that's going to do it for us. Robbie and I will be right back here tomorrow. Same weekday wager time, 2:00 Eastern. Same weekday wager channel. Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. You can't go wrong. Find us here on Weekday Wagers. Please, if you could be so kind, hit that like button. Subscribe. Be like Chino Knit. just hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our shows. And we will see you tomorrow at 2. Until then, listen, be kind to one another. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you in 24 hours.